Hello again, it's so nice to be back with you today, and I really hope you're doing great wherever you are. Today I want to do a very nice painting, and I really hope you paint along with me. So I have a vertical canvas here that I have covered with a thin even coat of liquid white, so we are ready to start straight away. And I want to start with the twins brush and some phthalo blue. Just tap in some paint in the bristles. And that way we achieve a nice, even distribution of color on the edge of the bristles. Just load both sides. And let's come up here and just make our regular crisscross strokes. And we use these strokes because they are easier to blend. And as you see, the color is mixing with the liquid white and it's getting lighter and lighter down toward the horizon. And we have started in the left upper corner because the light is coming from the right side, so we want this side to be lighter compared to this one. So in order to do the opposite, you just change the angle. Just make some crisscross strokes. But today we'll do a nice mountain scene with some huge evergreens and maybe a huge red tree right in front of us. It's gonna be nice, something different, something I had seen from the picture. And as I've told you in the previous episodes, we just want things differently this season, so let's just sit back and enjoy together. Okay, now some more blending here to remove any brush strokes. And now very, very gently go above the whole thing. Just like so. Let's have some water now. I'm gonna return to my phthalo blue. And to that I'm gonna add a small amount of phthalo green. I want some light in the water today. So brush mix the colors here and you're gonna get so many nice variation of colors. You can even see that on the palette we have two different tones here. And now we want still water, so let's start from the bottom here and make straight strokes. And you have to try to make them as straight as possible. And now do the same on the other side too. And I want to leave this area light here, like a shimmer of light is playing through here. And you can keep blending until you have very soft water, because this keeps blending with the liquid white. And you can remove some of the brush marks you might be getting, but when this dries it will actually look like water, so just let things happen for you. And we always start from the bottom and working upwards, because that way we achieve some nice depth in this painting. Okay, now let's just go very, very gently across the whole water, but the shimmer of light is still there, it won't go away. You can clearly see that now. Okay. Okay. Now let's have some clouds. Today I want to use the knife to paint clouds. Get a little amount of straight titanium white here and just a small amount of paint, as you can see, very, very small amount here. Let's have some nice clouds here in our sky. And I'm using a lot of pressure for that. Just have some nice clouds. And maybe there are some floaters right here. But not much paint though, because I don't want them very distinct, but if you want them more distinct, you can also use other brushes or add more paint here in the palette knife. Okay, now I'm going to take a clear and dry twins brush and just blend this. Just make big straight strokes with your brush. And you can get all kinds of effects here. And as you can see, they are not very distinct. Some of them are more, some of them are not. And that's what I want to achieve in this sky today. And that quickly we have some nice effective clouds. Now let's build the mountain today. I want to have a big ridge of mountains here, so let's take some ivory black, some Prussian blue, some Van Dyke brown, and some alizarin crimson here. Just mix the colors on the palette, pull them straight down, and cut off the little roll of paint as we always do, okay? We have a nice even distribution of paint on the edge of the blade. So let's decide where we want our mountain to be. So let's start in here and have something like that. We just want a nice outline in the mountain today. Just like so. And you can make this as big or as small as you want. And the main thing to worry here is a nice outside edge, because we will come back later on and add all kinds of highlights on the inside of the mountain, so we don't have to worry about what's going on the inside yet. Remove all the excess paint here by scraping off, using a lot of pressure, and this actually helps us removing the paint so we can apply the highlights and the shadows much easier. Now I'm gonna take the twins brush and remove even more paint and just try to decide the final shape of this mountain. Fold downwards, and as you can see, by the time we have the liquid white, it's so easy to do. And as the paint is blending with it, you can see that we have a very nice effect of mist on the bottom of the mountain. And you don't have to worry about this happening correctly, because you can always come back and change what you don't like by reshaping your mountain or repainting your mountain or something. Okay. And now in here we can just blend like that. And you must always remember that the bottom of the mountain is much lighter because of the mist compared to the top. Okay. And now we have a very nice basic mountain shape to play with. Now let's go. I'm gonna use the small knife today. Let's change things a little bit. I'm gonna take some titanium white, and I want to add some yellow ochre to that, and just a small, very small amount of dark sienna to that, but leave the color marbled like this. Don't overmix that, so we get lots of variations of paint. And once again we cut off the little roll of paint, and let's go up here and adding no pressure at all. Let's decide how I want our mountain to look like. No pressure at all. And we don't want much paint today. Just want to do a nice mountain base today. Give your knife a little bit of jiggle and wiggle here. And pull straight down like so. And one of the secrets here is to have a very, very firm paint. That's gonna help you a lot. Otherwise, the paint won't break like that. Don't just buy a traditional oil paint that won't work for you. And just follow these angles here. And you decide the life you want to give to your mountain. Like that. And you can always differ your colors, make them either darker or lighter, but do not overblend, because as you can see we have lots of nice different variations of color in our mountain. That's what we are looking for. Just pull straight down here. And give the mountain a little bit of character. And it's very important to have the right amount of liquid white when you start painting, because you don't want the colors to keep blending while you are doing that. That's why we paint in a wet on wet style, that means that we have some of our liquid medium and then we use very firm paints, and each layer does not blend that easily on canvas, so be sure you do things right. Another peak leaves here, and if you want you can use your big knife, but in this one I just wanted to have a little bit of playing with your small knife. Now you can see that this one comes right in front of this one, just like so. Now let's put some shadows. For a shadow color I want to have just a little bit of white, a small, very small amount of phthalo blue, and just a bit of Van Dyke brown probably. A sort of grayish blue color here, some more Van Dyke brown, and once again our paints are not overmixed, so let's come here and do the same thing. Just follow the angles of the mountain, and remember that each highlight needs its private shadow. And let's sneak behind here, and as you can see you have brought this peak to life. Go with this one too, but you really need to caress the canvas with your roll of paint. The knife is hardly touching the surface there, just sneaking between those peaks. Play games with your mountain, just enjoy things, and by the time I'm using the small knife I can sneak in such places very easily. Let's go to this one too. No pressure at all. Like so. And in here, we just follow these angles. Alright. Let's go to the other peak too. And I really like the colors in this one. If you want to just have a snowed mountain or use different colors, you can always do the same. Now I'm gonna load the small edge of the blade like that, and I want to sneak back here and just do this. There we go. And now you can return to your highlight color and just fix whatever you don't like. So in here I want some more distinct peaks. And do the same to the big one here. Okay. And that easily we have a very nice mountain to play with. Now let's just come here and do that in one go. As you can see, this peak comes in front of this one. And some more light indications in here. And we have a very nice mountain, and a little bit different compared to the things that we have done in the past. Now with a clean 2-inch brush, I'm gonna mist the bottom of it. Just follow the angles of the mountain and just tap lightly. A little bit of mist down here, and in here we follow these angles. You must always make sure that you have a clean and dry brush for that. Okay, now we just lift upwards, remove the top marks, and we have a nice mountain floating here in the mist. Okay, let's move forward just a little bit. Let's mix a color. I want some dark color today. Let's collect the mountain color and make more. I'm gonna make some very dark paint here. I'm gonna use all my dark colors, some phthalo green to that. Alright. Let's get a fan brush, cleaning off my knife, and let's use a number 6 knife. You can use, fan brush. Let's use a number 6 fan brush, loaded full of paint. Let's have some nice, decent trees back here. Let's just say that we also need to decide the lay of the land. Let's go up here. Just use the top corner of the brush and just tap downwards. And I have left this area here white, so this color blends with the white and gets a very nice light color. Probably it's like something like grayish green or something. And this area here is our separator. Nice misty area back here. Just some more trees. And now in here we can just show that the trees are fading away, so we're going to make them smaller and smaller and return with some paint and just make them fade away like so, and then we turn the brush sideways, lift it up a little bit, and it will show like the trees are just fading away. So let's have a big circle here. This will add some interest to our painting, so let's make those one a little bit bigger. Like so. Use both sides of the brush for that. And you don't have to worry about this area here, because we're gonna put some big trees and just covering the blanks. I want some reflections in the water and just add some small indications back here. Now let's see that we have some trees back here that are more distinct. Let's have a nice evergreen here, make a center line, and I'm just gonna push upward today. And a nice evergreen just lives here. Let's paint a couple more. Let's say that we have a bigger one here. And once again you have to find the side of the brush that is bending better, so it will work better for you. Let's have a small one here. You can't see much here, but you know he's there. Okay. Some more tree indications. Now let's have a reflection. Fill in some blanks in here. And I'm gonna let's take this brush, remove any excess paint. Now let's start from the ones that are further back and just work more and more. Make sure you pull straight down for that. It's very important to pull straight down, otherwise it won't look right for you. And the more you blend, the softer it gets. Now, very gently, just go across. You have a very nice reflection here. And one thing I want to do is to fill in some gumption here. Just fill this in nicely. And once again you can return and rebuild what you don't like. Okay. Now I want to do something else too. Let's take a 1-inch brush and I'm gonna take some white here, just a very small amount of white. And let's come up here and add some like big tree trunks. Just gonna lift upward. Just lift straight upward. This is gonna be fun. And if you think that you have gotten them very distinct, you can just keep blending and they will go away. And that way we can add thousands of tree trunks back here without worrying. and in here they're fading away, so don't make them very distinct. As you can see, we have a very nice mash of trees here. Some more white, and we're here. Now let's take some of my liquid white, here fixing my reflection again, and I'm gonna take some straight liquid white, but not too much, and pull straight down on my palette, and then cut off a roll of paint like that on the edge of the knife. Now let's make the waterline. Just add a lot of pressure for that. Use a lot of pressure and just follow the lay of the land here. And you need to make them as straight as possible, otherwise they won't look right. Some ripples here and there, and you can just come, and if you have any water lines that are very distinct, just keep blending so the excess paint will be removed. Okay, now let's move a little bit to the foreground. I want some grassy areas with some big trees, as I said earlier, so let's take a twins brush. I'm gonna take this brush here that I painted the sky with. I'm gonna go into my dark paint here and just tap in some paint in. Just push. So let's have some nice grassy areas. And the only thing we do is just tap with your twins brush. And I suggest you use the twins brush because it works much more quicker. And as you see, we paint in layers, so we have some very nice separations in our grass today. Some more paint. And now let's have a reflection. Let's use the same brush here and pull straight down like before. Very important to pull straight down. And now very gently, just give it a little blending. You can't go wrong with that if you have the right consistency of paint here. I'm gonna use the same brush, but you know something, I have an idea before that. Let's do something else. Let's add the trees first. Let's use the fan brush for some big evergreens. And I'm gonna come up here and let's have a big tree here. And once again you find the side of the brush that bends better and load a lot of paint to that. And now go back and forth, make the bristles bend. And as you can see, we have a very nice evergreen in our painting today. And tell you that these trees that we're gonna paint are quite close to us, so let's add some detail anyway. And it's also very important to leave gaps in between each branch. I don't want them to look like big triangles. I want some character in my trees. Let's have another one here. I want to save that pic, so let's come in here. Lots of paint. And do the same thing again. Just push upward and use more and more pressure as you go downwards. And you can have as many or as few trees as you want. You know that already, that we do things the way we like in here. And I don't want to tell you what to paint, but how to paint. So if you want to change the season, the colors, the equipment, the whole scenery, well, just do things your own way, in your own convenience. That's the most important part of all. another nice evergreen back here, and have another one in here. Just make the bristles bend. And don't worry if you don't get this right from the very start. Now let's make another tree. I'm gonna add a baby tree. Maybe in here. Just push upward. And right now there is a lot of dark color going in, but when you come back with the highlights and make them separate, this will look much better, I can guarantee. And the same thing I'm doing in here. I just wanted to cover some of my white area here. And another small tree. This one's lonely. Maybe it's like a baby tree that the older trees here have left alone. Reminds me of family tables, you know? Okay, like so. So, let's just put some tree trunks in here. I'm gonna take some of my titanium white and take some yellow ochre and some dark sienna, just the same color that we used to paint the highlights on the mountain. Do not overmix and cut off a very small roll of paint. Now let's go in here and just scratch in the top and then touch very gently and slightly pull, and as you go downwards in the tree, just pull more because the tree trunk is getting bigger. It's getting bigger as you move downwards. And do the same thing to all of your trees. Give each one its own tree trunk. And now we can see more separations here. Okay. And I'm gonna return to my fan brush that has the dark paint. And I'm just gonna add some paint thinner to that. And just go in some cadmium yellow, and by the time I have not washed my brush, I end up with this very beautiful green color because we have black and blue in here. And that makes us a very beautiful green color for highlights. Now load both sides, and the mountain tells us that the light coming from the right way, so let's add some highlights right here. And by the time we have thinned down our paint, we don't have to worry about it mixing with what's on the canvas already. Now you can see the separation in the trees. And if your paint won't stick, just add some more paint thinner so you can thin down, but just a very small amount is all that it takes. Okay, do the same thing to all these trees. And don't kill all the dark because we're gonna end up with a very plain tree, very straight. We want this to have character. As you can see, we have some dark areas in between because there are shadows in the trees too. Okay, now I'm gonna return to the twins brush with the dark paint on. Just take some of my yellows. Just look at this color. It's probably one of my favorite colors. I'm gonna thin down the paint just a little bit so it sticks easier, but not too much. And load both sides in the start and just pull some paint down and just push. Just push like that. This adds lots of paint on the end of the bristles here, and that's what we are looking for. A nice ridge of paint is happening here. And the same thing is taking place in our brush. So let's come up here and let's just tap gently. Make some nice grassy areas. Just add some detail here. And once again, do not kill all the dark areas. Some nice soft grass areas. And the secret here is not to use a lot of pressure when you're painting grass, because you won't be getting the same nice lacy effect that we're getting here. And this is because we have firm paint underneath and we have a lot and a little bit thinner paint on top of that. And by the time we're using natural bristle brushes, we can get this right just by practicing and following the rules. And the most basic rule is to enjoy, so let's have something to hold all this. Let's have some land. And I'm gonna go to some Van Dyke brown down here. Pull this out very flat and just cut the roll of paint as we always do. And let's go in here and add some soil or something. This is relatively close to us, so let's make it a little bit bigger in here. Big stones and things that is holding everything together here, otherwise the grass would fall into the water. And follow these angles here so you make it look just a little bit better. Like that. Fill in some gaps in here. Make sure you make these parts of the land smaller compared to this one, so you have some depth in here. And I'm gonna go to the highlight color and just gently go above this. Very touching here. One stroke. And we have some very nice land areas in here. I'm going to return to my big brush with the grassy color, and let's bring this together. Just come above here and just put some grass a little at a time so it all comes together. Just use the corner of the brush for that, but always remember to just follow the lay of the land in here. And here we go. Now add the water line with the knife and just scratch in some nice water lines. Sneak right down this. And we have some nice things in the middle of our painting. Some more liquid white here. Make this just a little bit more distinct. A little here and there. And off we go. Let's come to this side too. So let's have some other trees. Maybe have a projection here or something. Let's take another brush. Return to my dark paint here. Maybe have something in here. Add some color. And pull straight down. Actually having the same thing we're having on the other side. And this is gonna add interest in here. Pull straight down. Very gently go across. And once again we're gonna have some big evergreens in here. Just let me collect my paint. Return to the fan brush. Remove some of the thin paint and just return to your dark color here. Lots of paint, both sides. Let's have a big evergreen where I'm gonna put it right here. You know, I just want to save some parts of the mountain that are looking very good today. And come up here and use lots of paint. It's like making Z movements, but we're just pushing upward today. If you want, you can push downward. Both sides are acceptable, obviously. I just wanted to do things just a little bit different this season for you. And what we're doing is pushing and pressing. Do not let your brush to slide in here. And I'm gonna have another one, a very small tree, somewhere right here maybe. And push upward once again. Okay. And do the same procedure. I really hope you're enjoying this today. It will be a good practice for you. On the tree trunk, we want a big tree trunk today. And a small one in here. And now with the same brush as before, thin the paint down just a little bit. Just a little bit of paint thinner to my brush and some cadmium yellow in the dark paint we're already having. Remember that the light is coming from the right side. And just put some detail in here. And do not kill the tree trunk. I want some life to be shown through here. I like the small tree too. And now I'm gonna return to my big brush with the grassy color. Highlight the grass now. Just come this way. It's very important to learn to load your brushes correctly, because otherwise you won't be getting the same effect as we do here. And once again, you don't have to worry in the start, because the more you practice, the better you're gonna become. But you have to make sure that you have some quality equipment here, because we don't want to buy just the cheapest brushes or paints from a hardware store or an art store. Just invest only a little bit of money in order to enjoy your dream of becoming a painter. I'm gonna go to my highlight color once again. It's the same procedure in here. And now to the liquid white. Just a little bit more of the liquid white in my palette. Just use a lot of pressure and always have in mind that you want them straight. Okay, now here I want some sticks and twigs to be shown through, like small weeds and stuff that are growing up here in the grass. And once again, use the big brush and bring all this together. Just like that. Be extra careful in here. Like that. Now I want a big stone or something in here, so I can have a big kind of leafy tree with nice red leaves. So let's just take our knife here, and I'm gonna add some huge amount of Van Dyke brown in here. Let's have a big stone. So let's come this way and fill the same. Just some straight Van Dyke brown here. Removing some of my light paint in here, so the dark one will just get easier. And it's like building a mountain sometimes, you know. We just repeat some techniques to have different variations and effects. So just fill the scene, follow the lay of the land, Van Dyke brown for me. Filling all the areas. We're using a lot of paint here today. Alright. Now let's have some highlights and reflected light going on this huge stone. Now I'm gonna take some of this highlight color that we're having from before. This is just dark sienna, white and yellow ochre, and just come here and add some interesting details. Just pull straight down here. And now I want to take some of my shadow color from the mountain and do the same thing on some spots. Some light is playing through here. And let all these colors blend together. I mean, look at that. And the most important thing here is to add no pressure. And you can come back and fix the outside edge here. Like so. And now I'm going to return to my colors that I've put the highlights on. Take some shadow color and just look at that. Look at all the things that are happening in here. Now for the huge tree. Oh my god, let's see. I'm gonna have the tree maybe somewhere right here, because you know I like this peak very much and I want to save some of the trees here. Let's have it somewhere in here maybe. So I'm gonna take lots of paint thinner and I'm gonna go into some Van Dyke brown, and I'm just using lots of paint thinner and a lot of paint for that. Just twist your brush into the paint and turn it like that, and you have a nice pointy edge in here. Once again, you just roll the brush in the paint and you come up with a nice pointy edge. So let's decide where our tree is gonna be. Let's say it's gonna be right here in the sky, and twist it as you go downwards. And you can start from that point. Even if you have run out of paint, you can just return in here and add more and more of it. Just keep your paint thin and lots of paint for this one. Okay, so we're gonna come here in the bottom with more paint and add just some more detail. A big trunk is this tree having. Let's add some details. Like so. Now maybe you want to add some highlights in here, so I'm gonna take some of the light color and maybe go this way. Let's hold the brush like that. Just look at that. Some more paint. You know, while you're painting, you just see things, so just do things your own way and enjoy yourself. In here I have picked some of the dark paint and I just cleaned my brush and carried on from there. You know, you can do that. You don't have to worry about cleaning your brushes all the time, because you can actually do that as many times as needed. And especially this small brush is very easy to clean. So some highlights here on the outside. And there we go, just above the grassy areas. You know, this is the beauty of the wet and wet painting technique, because you can be going back and forth, and do things the way you like to do. Change your mind, do not commit yourself. This is all what it's about. And here's some more detail. I'm gonna return. Let's return to the dark color. This is just straight Van Dyke brown. Let's make it a little bit pointier here. And add some branches and stuff. All kinds of things in here. Big tree. Right in front of our mountain. And in here you have a lot of paint. Just thin your paint a little bit so it sticks easier. And I'm gonna have all kinds of branches going in. Small, big, thin or thick. And at home you can just keep playing with these for a lot of time. Some more paint thinner, some more Van Dyke brown. Gonna have some nice limbs here. Look at that. And you can always leave this tree dead like the way it is now, but I want some life. I don't like dead trees. I really don't. I want my trees to have life and leaves and colors. But in your world you can do things the way you like. Okay, now for the most difficult part of all, let's add some red leaves as I told you. And for that I'm gonna take my oval brush and I'm gonna go into some straight bright red here. I'm gonna take just a bit of paint thinner, thin down the paint, load a lot of paint and just push like that, the way we did earlier with a big brush. And let's come up here and add some character, and look at that. Some nice leaf indications, and this is straight bright red. I'm barely touching the canvas here. I have thinned down my paint so it sticks. And look at all those separations we are having here. Just go back and forth your color, and if you're picking up any of this dark color that's underneath, just remove the paint on a paper towel and work again with some clean red color. And that nicely, that easily, you can have a nice tree with red leaves. And make sure you have some leaves just in front of this trunk, like that, just barely touch here, because there are always leaves on the back of this tree, so just add some life. And I think that, like that, we have come to the end of a finished painting. In here I'm gonna just take some of my highlight color and do something here in the bottom of the tree, so it seems that it's just standing on top of those stones, like that. So I really hope you have enjoyed today's episode. This is something different, and there are lots of things that you can do using the wet on wet oil painting technique. So until next week, I'd like to wish you happy painting and take care. Thank you very much for watching.